theme this year is from Luke 11, which is Lord, teach us to pray, which is where the disciples come to Jesus and say, Lord, teach us to pray as John taught his disciples. So it's one of the only times in the Gospels, maybe the only time in the Gospels, that the disciples ask a question of Jesus, teach us something. And the thing they ask for is to teach us to pray. So what does Lord, teach us to pray mean? This is not a joke. It literally means we want the Lord to teach us to pray. I don't think we're good at it. And by we, I mean myself. I mean our university. I mean Christians in general. I think we're good at talking about it. We all know it's important, but I don't think we're good at it. And so we need to be taught. And even those who maybe are better at it than others, still there's room to improve, and there's much that we need to learn when it comes to prayer. So this is more than any other year. This is really kind of us submitting to God and saying, teach us something. This isn't me saying, here's this idea that I have that we're going to kind of lay out over the course of the next 9 months and learn something in the process. It is me saying, I have no idea. All I know is what we need, and we need to be better at praying. How do we plan on executing this? Well, 2 years ago when our theme was do this in remembrance of me, I said early on kind of the philosophy behind what we did in chapel that year was that I didn't want to just talk about it, that it was do this in remembrance of me. So I thought it was important that we do the thing in remembrance of God, not just talk about doing it. So every Thursday we took communion together that year. And this year's similar. Lord, teach us to pray. I think if we're asking him to teach us to pray, we need to create space to pray and be taught in the process. It's not, Lord, teach us to talk about praying. It's, Lord, teach us to pray. And so how we're executing that theme this year is on Tuesdays we're gathering for prayer. And then on Thursdays we'll have kind of a regular chapel service where we'll hear speakers both from on campus and off campus come and kind of exegete scriptures that talk specifically about prayer or talk about something that is relevant to prayer. I mean, I hope that we learn to pray. I hope that our reflex changes. I hope that we come to understand the power of prayer in a way that revives the campus. Not that students could walk away and go, I've got this great sermon series that I'm going to do for my youth group this summer. I've learned so much about prayer. Maybe there's not even a way for us to articulate what we've learned. What I really hope for is revival. That a revival in prayer and just a revival of the spiritual temperature of the campus. I had a student come into the office last week and pray with me, and he mentioned the word revival, and I don't remember exactly what he said, but he said something about wanting to see revival break out on this campus. And as he walked out of the office, I kind of thought to myself, well, God, I don't know if I want revival. I'm just trying to do my... And then I almost felt like God stopped me and say, if you don't want revival, like if you're not working for revival, then I need to find somebody else for this job. Because what else would I be doing if it wasn't to be a part of the Holy Spirit reviving the spiritual life of us as individuals and as a campus body? So yeah, that's what I hope for with this year's theme, is for an inbreaking of the Spirit as we seek him in prayer.